Ladies and gentlemen, what is up and welcome today to Nick Fury Tips and Tricks. So I thought, because this lad is currently in the 4-star basic arena, now would be a pretty good time to sit down and do a tips and tricks video for Nick Fury, because I've had this dude at rank 5 for about 5 months now. I love Nick Fury, man. I'm such a big fan of this champion. I think in comparison to your average character in this game, Nick Fury, he's not insanely complicated, but he's a little bit complicated and slightly tricky to understand, especially if you are a newer player to this game. So hopefully today's video is going to be somewhat valuable. But before we get into some of the gameplay today, because we're going to dive in fairly quickly, I do want to talk about the Mastery Deep Wounds, because this is insane for Nick Fury. A lot of his damage output does come via the bleed, specifically the light ending combo bleed, which is a very short bleed. And Deep Wounds has a crazy synergy with Nick Fury. So Deep Wounds, if you want to see like crazy damage from Nick Fury, like really insane damage, like Deep Wounds 5 out of 5 is the mastery that you want, man. It is so good. So yeah, just something worth pointing out. And also there's a really good synergy with Despair as well, because Nick Fury has so many debuffs, so many bleeds as well. So if you need, you know, Despair to kind of block out some healing, like that could be really useful. But just kind of throw that out there before we jump into a little bit of gameplay. So let's start off by jumping into Realm of Legends and talking about the real way to play Nick Fury, to kind of harness the real Nick Fury and get that crazy damage, man. Get the really big numbers. So essentially in this fight, there's 4 different things that we're going to do. And the first one is we want to kill off the decoy version of Nick Fury and activate the real Nick Fury, because that's going to give us the Fury. It's also going to give us double tactical charge gain and mean that our tactical charges don't expire over time. So it allows us to build up to unblockable, additional bleed damage, and also evade counter or invisible counter in certain matchups as well. So you want to kill the decoy. The next thing we want to do is apply 8 stacks of bleed to get an internal bleed on Winter Soldier, and then we want to get 15 to 19 tactical charges. So this is going to give us again, all of our utility, plus significantly enhance the light attack bleed damage. And then we want to spam light ending combos, because that is the big bleed on Nick Fury, is doing a medium, quadruple light, and ending the combo with a light attack there. And that's how you get the big damage, as you're going to see. But the medium attacks, they can be very useful for kind of applying lots of stacks of bleed if you need it for internal bleed or the Despair Mastery. And also the combo of like a medium and heavy attack gives you 4 bleeds total, man. So if you do 2 of those back to back, it's a great time. But again, the first thing we're trying to do in this matchup is kill off the fake version, the decoy Nick Fury, just so we can get to that second phase. Hopefully Winter Soldier is going to power drain us as well, because the special 3 is, yeah, not really where you want to be at for most of the time. But hey, if we've got to use a special 3, we've got to use one. So yeah, let's fire it off, man. Just kind of get control of this fight back here. And then we are going to build our internal bleed and also get the tactical charges up as well. So let's go for it, boys. Alright, let's just do a double medium there. Double mediums or medium heavies are kind of the best way to go whenever you can. Unfortunately, the special 2 is a little bit longer here, so we might lose a fair few stacks of bleed. Looks like it. Come on, mate. There we go. Alright, double medium. Probably should have gone for a light ending combo there, but I think it was a good idea to go for the special 1. Alright, let's go for a light ending combo here, and then special 1. So you can see, if you're paying very close attention now, look at that bleed damage, man. Every light ending combo bleed is dealing just over 5,500 damage per tick. So it's absolutely rinsing this man down. Granted, the bleed here is being enhanced by the synergies, which we're going to talk about in a little bit as well. But just a very quick, very easy matchup. Don't even need any more hits there at all. And Winter Soldier is down. So crazy performance from Nick Fury. So if you can execute kind of that phase, that rotation pretty well, just everything dies super quickly, and this works in pretty much every scenario where there's not some sort of external source of fun and interactive damage. And if you are like, oh, playing on 30% in the second phase is a little bit sketchy for me, there are additional synergies as well, which we're going to talk about, such as the Heimdall, Hela, and Angela ones a little bit later in this video. But going into the next fight, you don't need to kill the decoy, so it's just a case of like parry, what is that? Parry medium heavy, parry medium heavy, and then you are building up a couple of special ones. Get those 16 tactical charges to get increased bleed duration on your light attack bleeds, and you're having a proper laugh. Alright, let's go for another one. So 16 tactical charges. Anything above 15, you actually become completely unblockable as well. You just rinse into the block, be a little bit more aggressive. Just fantastic for so many different matchups. And here, I don't think we need to worry about applying another internal bleed. So yeah, there we go, man. Captain Marvel Classic down in just 59 hits there. Such a smooth little takedown. And we'll do one more fight just to show you. But once you kill off that decoy in the first fight, like the matchups, they become quite quick to just continually get onto and farm. But what are we going to do here against Juggernaut? Oh yeah, this Juggernaut doesn't start with Unstoppable, so he's not as much of a problem as the average Juggernaut is. So that's medium and heavy, parry, medium, heavy. We've got an internal bleed active there. And also the special one does apply on its debuff a 70% ability accuracy reduction. So there is actually a fairly solid chance that Unstoppable was going to fail, but it didn't happen then, so that was great. Come on, lads. Let's go for it. And also in a matchup like this, we can incorporate the special 2 in a little bit as well. For the stun. Oh, actually I should have got one more special 1, man. Okay, let's see if we can build up to that. Should have gone for a 5 combo there as well. Some rookie mistakes here, lads. Rookie mistakes. There we go. Let's just keep rinsing those light bleeds. Dodging that Unstoppable. Bit of a clumsy matchup in certain places for sure, but he's still going down and under 100 hits very easily. So, you know, you don't have to play Nick Fury perfectly is the moral of the story in that matchup, but still got Juggernaut down in 69 hits. Oi oi. Not too bad, not too bad. We'll just do one more matchup against Rhino here, just using this balls to the walls playstyle, just to showcase the dominance really of Nick Fury, and also we do have the class advantage here, so it'd be a little bit rude to skip out on this man. So use a double medium here. Come on, can we get another? Actually, let's just go for a heavy, a little bit safer there. Medium heavy is just absolutely fantastic. Right, let's dodge that. Going for a light ending combo. Straight into a special 1. Go for another special 1 here, trigger unblockable. Look at that, mate. 6,200 damage on those bleeds every single second. Loving it, boys. Absolutely loving it. Alright, let's go for one more while he's got the internal bleed active. And then another one, might as well. Sorted, boys. Absolutely sorted. So yeah, Nick Fury is crazy good when you play him like that, but you might be like curious about different synergy setups and stuff that works quite well. So going back to the synergy team earlier, like if I ever want to get like the most out of Nick Fury, like the quadruple Black Panther synergy team is the one that I go for, because this gives skill champions additional bleed damage. So if you've got like the 5-star, the 4-star, and the 3-star on the team, that's like something like 70% more bleed damage, but if you got the 6-star as well, that's 75% more bleed damage there. So this is the team synergy I found if I want like crazy damage output of Nick Fury for like farming in Realm of Legends. This is the one that I go for. But if you're one of those players that wants to add a little bit more of a safety net to their Nick Fury gameplay, a team that I definitely suggest looking at, if you want like maximum survivability for this man, if you bring in Heimdall, like also getting Hela and Angela and Thor Ragnarok as well, so just kind of building up the team from the synergies here, then you've got double cheat death, one from the Heimdall synergy, and if you kill off all your opposing champions other than Nick Fury, then you've got double cheat death via the Hellas and Angela synergy as well. So that is instant, you know, if you get knocked out, you instantly go back up to 20% of your health there, so that's crazy. And then you can add in like Thor Ragnarok for like 15% regeneration as well. So there's a lot of stuff you can do to give this champion a lot more survivability if you're a little bit, you know, new to playing the character, or you're just, you know, not really that comfortable playing in all sorts of matchups. But also there is like one additional benefit to this team synergy as well, and this is with the, I believe, the Heimdall and Angela synergy, the one that gives you the Fury. So I'll kind of explain how this works. Like whenever Nick Fury has an active Fury, the duration of his tactical charges are paused. So in a standard matchup like this, you'll see if you like throw off a special one, then your tactical charges, they start to decay. However, with the Angela synergy, with Heimdall, you can gain a Fury, and then once you've got that active, you can see as soon as we have that Fury active, the duration of tactical charges are paused. So this allows you to get the utility that you might need in the first phase. And 5 charges is you can ignore evade champions and also invisible champions like Mysterio, Invisible Woman, potentially Ebony Maw as well. However, if Ebony Maw does nullify that Fury with a special one, you're in a little bit of trouble there. It also allows you to get up to unblockable. But you can see here, this isn't the real Nick Fury, man. So it's not the big one. You're not going to see the massive numbers when it does come to this this Fury here. However, it is a way to utilize the first phase in utility. Although this is, you know, at least in my opinion, man, just the real Nick Fury phase, the one that we showed you toward the beginning of the video, is more often than not the best way to go in a lot of very high stakes matchups, outside of, you know, stuff like Alliance Quest, Alliance War, where you need the survivability a little bit more, or maybe you don't want to waste the first phase in modes of gameplay like that, where potions are just really, really expensive, man. Right, so let's fire off the special 2 there, and you can see the damage output, you know, it's not the most terrible in this phase, but it's also not the most insane either. Right, I think we're zerging toward another internal bleed, man. Kind of consuming my own internal bleeds here, but I guess it doesn't matter as much in a phase like this. Nice little unblockable as well, so we can just punish this man constantly. If you've got the stun mastery, you can see there's just about enough time off the special 2 to get like a 5 combo in. Be very, very quick. Oh, I think I was... no, I thought I was a bit too slow there, man, but we just about, boys. Definitely take that one. So I imagine by this point you kind of see what I mean about like the damage output and value. Like it's very, very different between the real Nick Fury phase and the standard one. Like even with the full Asgardian team synergy and the Fury supporting there, it just yeah, was much slower in comparison. But in this one you've, you know, 2 cheat deaths, an additional like heal from Thor Ragnarok, so there's, you know, a lot of stuff you do with all sorts of different characters to really prop up Nick Fury and give him a little bit more survivability, and just to cover some of the base stuff that you might be curious to know about Nick Fury and just some of the stuff that this champion does. Again, his awakened ability, like once you enter that second phase, you're going to degenerate until you hit 30% life, and the signature levels kind of reduce this degeneration rate by a little bit. But in all honesty, man, the awakened ability and having this champion awakened matters. However, signature levels, at least in my opinion, don't really matter at all, because the difference between like level 1 and 200 is just like a few more seconds of like having above 30% health, which in most matchups really doesn't matter. So the awakened ability matters, signature level doesn't. Also, when you're fighting somebody that's under the effect of a regeneration buff, your bleed damage is halved. So he's not, you know, he's still actually quite good against a lot of regeneration opponents, just You do have a bit of a damage penalty there. So ending a combo with a light attack, as mentioned, deals a very powerful but very short bleed effect. So with deep wounds and also the tactical charges and internal bleed, that makes that light attack bleed hit very, very hard. Landing any medium has a very small bleed, as you can see here, but the bleed duration is over 6 seconds, so it's much longer. Again, very good for getting internal bleed. Your heavy attack has 3 stacks of bleed over 12 seconds. So these are much longer, so medium heavy combos are the way to go for getting that very first stack of internal bleed. When he's hitting into auto block, Nick is stun immune and also has a 100% chance to inflict a bleed. Dealing a very small amount of damage over 12 seconds, pretty much the same like bleed as the heavy attack there. Knocking down an opponent purifies Nick's non-damaging debuffs, but if he has over 10 tactical charges, it removes all debuffs off Nick Fury, so occasionally that can be quite handy to know. So internal bleed, if the opponent gets 8 stacks of bleed, their bleed effects are removed and replaced with a passive internal bleed, which deals my Nick Fury is like 6,000 damage over 30 seconds, so it's a medium-sized bleed, man. It's not too bad. Like over a very long duration, the damage really does add up, but also the additional effect of while internal bleed is active, all the opponent's bleed debuffs have an increased duration of 0.2 seconds per tactical charge. So for every 5 tactical charges you have, that's 2 more ticks on a bleed. And when my bleeds, you know, Nick Fury, man, are dealing like 6,000 damage almost every single tick, like that's a lot of additional damage, man. It's really, really good. So the internal bleed, you know, really does make Nick Fury a little bit crazy. And tactical charges, he starts with 6 charges when fighting an Avenger. If you immediately have him in the second phase, he's just going to instantly start with 12 because it'll double the charge gain there, which is pretty damn cool. Again, under the effect of any Fury, tactical charge durations are paused, and if he doesn't have a Fury, he loses 1 charge every 6 seconds. And above 5 charges, Nick's attacks cannot miss or be evaded, so again, a very good counter to Invisible Woman and also Mysterio after his special 2. And any champion with a super annoying evade mechanic. 10 charges, he purifies all debuffs when knocking the opponent down. 15 charges, he becomes unblockable. And at 20 charges, you get rid of all the charges and replace it with another Fury, which lasts for 10 seconds. However, you don't want to do this when you're already in the second phase, and you don't really want to do it in the first phase either. So yeah, just kind of avoid getting to 20 charges unless you want a little bit more damage output, but it's generally a lot more valuable to just keep him at like 15 to 19 tactical charges, because again, you've got unblockable, your attacks can't miss or be evaded, and you have a lot more bleed duration as well. So that Fury, like only lasting 10 seconds, it's not really gonna, you know, give you more damage output overall there. And yeah, the special attack 1 gains 4 tactical charges, 8 if you have a Fury active, or Fury's Fury active. Also has a minus 70% ability accuracy reduction for 8 seconds as well, so that's very useful for matchups like Thing, for example. Special 2 inflicts 4 stacks of bleed, and also has a 50% chance to stun the opponent for 3 seconds, and increases by a flat 10% for each of Nick's tactical charges, so above 5, this is going to be a guaranteed stun. And finally, the special attack 3 has a lot more damage if you have a Fury's Fury active and an internal bleed active. However, Nick Fury is dealing like so much damage just off his bleeds that the special 3, like time-wise, just really isn't worth using, at least in my opinion, the majority of the time. So yeah, just don't really worry about the special 3. But there we go. Hopefully after today's video, you've got a bit more of an understanding of how Nick Fury works and how to play this champion, how to get some crazy damage out of him. And if this video was useful, if you could do me a massive favor and smash that like button, that'd be greatly appreciated. But aside from that, thank you so much for watching. Take care, and I hope that you have an absolutely fantastic day.